Tony, State came in averaging about 80 points a game, which led the ACC. What was the key defensively tonight?
I thought we were ready. Just tried to make them earn. They have a inside-outside attack with Burns and obviously Smith and Joyner. They've been playing terrific basketball. Casey played well tonight. But just, they tried to be back, be ready, get into the ball, and try to be a little sounder and outlast and not yield more than we did last game.
Tony, Caden, who didn't play last game, had a great defensive effort, it seemed like, was able to push Burns away from the basket when he caught the ball. What did you like about that matchup and the way he...
I think it's a great lesson. It's why you keep working and you stay ready. And Caden had he practiced well the last couple practices. And again, the practices matter. And he came ready and he kept himself ready. His length was there. He fought. We thought if we were going to trap, Caden's length would be good. Poppy was still in play, but I liked how active our guys were, and they knew they would have to win this with a defensive sound, tough effort. And so again, I thought Caden, did some nice stuff, and that was the lift we needed and protected the rim at times. So I just told those guys, just keep stepping in the right direction and don't back down. That's their way, because we've got to get, that's how you got to win games. As it gets to this point, you better make it, as I've said, be hard to score against and not have too many breakdowns. And you can see they can get going with their shots. But I thought everybody gave us a good lift. Isaac McNeely certainly did, and the guys played well. But I was so happy for Caden, to respond like that and help us out, and that made our defense different.
Yeah, Jaden on some of those double teams sliding across the floor. What did you see there from Jaden defensively to help on Burns?
You just said be ready and be quick. And it better be, if you're going to trap, it's got to be a quick, tough, hard trap, legal, and don't waste your time. And other guys better get in their spots. And we didn't mess around, and we just did it. And sometimes you can sit there and try to reason and figure stuff out. You just got to get there and do it, and that's what we tried to do.
Just to follow on that a little bit, did you think the post trap would be as effective, particularly against Burns?
He's a good passer. Yeah, I think he's a good passer, so I wasn't sure. And he catches it really far out. But, you can't take away everything. Sometimes, you make the mistake of trying to do everything perfect, and you treat it almost like a calculus problem. And you got to execute, and sometimes it's what you do best against what they do best. And then if it's really hurting you, adjust. But simplicity with hard, tough execution is the way. And our guys have to continue to understand that. And if they do, they'll have chances. And if they don't, and we don't, then it'll be a struggle.
You talked a little bit about Isaac McNeely and his confidence in his shooting, but just his hustle plays and, the big block on the stretch and just his athleticism with those plays.
Yeah, we needed that block because they overloaded and they did a good job. And he came out of nowhere and he hit the tough three, and he continues to improve. And, and he slid well. Joyner's really been playing well, and he matched up on him, and I thought actually Kihei did a good job on Joyner at times too. But, to be, as kind of it's an old saying, but you're no longer a first year or a freshman. You've played enough games, and so you step into these, you believe in yourself, and again, same thing, don't take a step back, and I thought he had that. He's such a compliant, nice young man. He kind of blocked it and sort of shrugged his shoulders and smiled, which he can do that as long as he's in position and he does that. So he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna, spit nails out or anything like that. But he really did a good job.
Yeah, Tony, against a team that can score like this, it seems like y'all started with a great level of focus on that end. What were the past couple days like since Virginia Tech, just to kind of hone in on defense?
Yeah, prepare well, do what we do, double down on being tough and sound, and 2 feet in commitment to defense, because I don't think we've been that way. And so we'll have decisions to make moving forward, but if we want to be as good as we can, everyone has to be committed. And it's got to take, it won't be perfect, but it has to be a little tougher, sounder mindset. And I was pleased that the guys established that, and they'll need to continue to establish it at our next practice and moving forward.
Jaden's been kind of re-emerging here in the last few weeks, really consistent offensively. What have you seen from his game and kind of how he's fitting there?
Yeah, no, he's it's good to see him get back, and he bailed us out a couple times, but we need everyone, and again, it just shows our depth was good, and again, Caden hadn't been playing, and then he comes back and gives us a nice lift. Ryan, didn't play as much tonight, and Ben wasn't his normal self, so it was good to see other guys step up. And that's guys just have to be ready at different times, but to get scoring and that intermediate stuff is really good. And Jaden looks like he's playing assertively and sound.
Coach, you touched on it a little bit in that answer, but how valuable is that versatility in the front court to be able to count on different guys at different times and mix and match the lineups depending on who you're playing?
Yeah, I think that's important. Just different opponents sometimes have different ways they go, and again, with the size of Burns, we felt like a little more length, and again, the guys that we've been playing before have been playing really well. But I think that versatility is very important, and so I was happy to see that, and different guys at different times. That's why you always stay ready.
Something I noticed is that you were very composed during the game, and a lot of your players were very composed, while NC State seemed to get a little frustrated. Is there anything you focused on mentally before the game, not just during practice, but especially for this one?
Yeah, talk is cheap. Do it. Show us. To our players, to us as a staff. Show up, work in practice, step to between the lines, and don't lose yourself in anything but what your job is. Kind of a more of a business-like approach, and have joy, have fun out there, but do what you got to do. And there was a pretty clear message sent in the last couple days of practice, and I thought the guys responded.
Seemed that from the handshake at the end of the game that you left on very good terms with Casey Morsel. What was it like going up against him?
Yeah, Casey's improved, and again, he's in his last year. And as I said on my radio show the other night, and I wish Casey would have never transferred. I wish all of the guys that we bring in here wouldn't have. And I shook his parents' hands after. He's a fine young man, and he just, I guess it wasn't meant to be. I wish it would have, but he's really playing good ball. He's a key for that team. And, I wish him nothing but the best. And I'm proud of the way he's developed, and I know what he and his family are about. So you can't hold grudges too long in this profession. And I didn't when he left. Like I said, I was hurt because I thought he was going to be a good player, but I respect anyone's wishes. And, again, it's important. You got to want to be here. And you can't twist people's arms, and it's worked out well for him, and it's worked out well for us. So again, like I said, he's done well, and they're having a really good year, and I'm happy for Kevin as well.